again, when I saw this was way out of my budget. It's crazy. I mean,
it's like a trend. Everything is like, and you
Yeah,
end up
so-
overspending your budget.
I've never regretted any watch that I bought. I've only really regretted those that I've let go.
Hi everyone, welcome to the Big Time Tick and Talk Show. Today we are very honored to have Ben and Peishan. Yeah, so maybe a little bit of introduction about yourself and Peishan also.
Hi everyone, thanks YK for this opportunity to share with my wife Peishan. We've been married for just over 10 years now. We've got two wonderful boys, Matthias and Joseph. They are 9 and 6 this year. And we've been collecting watches together, I think together for about perhaps 5 years.
Yeah.
Before we got married and anything like that was about 5 years for me. So total about 10 years.
10 years in watch collecting.
Yeah.
How about Peishan? How long have you, or you got influenced by Ben after getting married?
You
into
can
watches?
say that. I think it's more like also to support him in his journey, and also like to, like in a way, share the passion. Like, so it's passion on passion.
So that's very nice, because usually the husband will be very worried that the wife doesn't support the hobby, right?
Yeah.
That's for most of us.
Yeah.
Do you have any other hobbies other than watch collecting? Actually?
For myself, I love arts. I love reading. I love anything that's very imaginative or has a good storyline. I used to play a lot of video games. So even playing video games, I love role-playing games, RPGs. You know, those with very strong storylines that can really get me hooked. So I guess it really translated perhaps into my taste of watches, as you'll see later. I have a story to tell, whether is it from the watchmaker or about the watch itself. I love watches that are very imaginative and have a strong, passionate story behind them.
I see. So it actually stems or boils down to your previous gaming kind of aspect, where it actually kind of influenced. Actually, that was supposed to be my next question.
Oh, okay.
Whether does your gaming or other hobbies actually kind of influence what you choose or what you buy, actually. Yeah, and into the watch collecting hobby. So how about Peishan? Do you have anything? Because I see that you have a very nice ring there.
Yeah, so as you can see, I like jewelry. So it took me a while to understand from him why he's so passionate about watches, because it seems like, you usually only see the regular brands, and but he'll explain a bit later on the choice of watches, and you will see them, they're not so common. So it sort of helps me to see watches as more than just, like, it actually twins jewelry very well if it's used sparingly and tastefully. So actually it's as good as an accessory as well. So, and plus after when we talk about things like complications and the mechanism is very fascinating. So I think he kind of won me over a bit to the dark side, and I see the point of the watches and the wonders of it actually, and the making.
Yeah, I can actually see some jewelry on the watches, which I think maybe could be part of it also, like the influence of your collection into the jewelry, right? So it could have partially kind of influenced how you collect watches also. A little bit of curiosity, so since this is the first time we have two guests on our show, between the two of you, do you have very different tastes in watch collecting, or maybe any similarities and differences in terms of selecting watches?
I guess perhaps I can start with the similarities.
Yeah,
Both of us like stuff and watches that are very unique, different in design, have its own character. I think that's what draws them to us. Differences, besides of course the usual design choices. I'm not really a bling watch person, man. Even there are quite a growing number of them. I value both design and movement. Things like finishing draws me to the watch as well, just as much as its design.
I think I'll start with differences. For sure, like he would like the metals of the titanium watches and the bracelets. And for women, I think especially for me, because I wear dresses a lot of the time, so I don't really prefer metal watches. So it's a bit uncomfortable for me. I like straps. Thankfully, he has over the years as we collect together, I think he's been very kind to also accommodate me by changing a lot of his watches to the strap ones, so I can wear them as well now.
Nice. Yeah, so that was actually something that I'm really curious, and I believe previously we spoke about it before, is the size of the watch, right? Because I think Ben has quite a large wrist as compared to a female wrist. So do you guys really share watches? Because you know the wrist difference is quite huge, right? And you mentioned that he actually changed his watches to straps so that you can wear them. So does that mean that do you share watches nowadays, or
Much more than before.
much more than
In the
before?
past, not so much. Now that he changed the straps, he also punches in an extra hole in the tighter fit side.
I see.
Yeah.
So that's very nice of you. Very sweet, right? So, but how do you think? Because most of his watches are generally larger in size, from what we can see. So, how do you feel about wearing larger watches as compared to, I can see some of your smaller watches?
So that's a really good question. Also because I never thought I could carry off the large watches. And actually there are a huge number of women collectors who love large watches. But I wasn't one of them when I started. I actually started with the dainty stuff, which is very typical. But later when I started trying some of the bigger ones, I realized, hey, actually I can pull it off. That's why I said, I think I rock it better than you. But it's really because it's the attitude behind it, it's the make, it's how they curve the shapes. So some of it might be big and chunky, but if they curve it well, actually it can sit very well. And I was quite surprised. So I was like, oh, that changes, it opens the entire spectrum for me. So it changed my whole perspective of watch wearing, and I actually enjoy the big pieces now.
Oh, I see. So that's very interesting, right? Like how you started from smaller watches, and then slowly, because it's just that you happen to try Ben's watches, and then slowly you get used to wearing bigger watches. Yeah, because I think now we can also see a lot of ladies, they are actually starting to wear oversized watches, right? It's not just men, right? I also see a lot of ladies wearing like Panerai, even G-Shock and stuff. So those are actually quite huge watches, which it's quite interesting because generally for ladies' wrist, it's quite small. But I do see that now the trend is like ladies are okay to accept larger watches, unlike last time. So to reverse the question, how about Ben? Do you feel okay wearing a smaller watch?
Yeah, and I think I have an observation about case size. I would say what's more important is the case design. For example, this particular Bovet, it is 46 millimeters in diameter. On paper, you think that, oh, it's huge and gigantic and very difficult to wear. But because of its unique writing case slope design, it's very, very comfortable to wear even under shirt cuffs. And I believe that, why women have, for maybe 20 years already, have been wearing Panerai, especially the Radio Mail, because of the nice curve of the case, makes it nicer to wear on the wrist. And so for me, my smallest watch that I wear on a daily basis is a 37.5 millimeter Patek Philippe Calatrava. I think it's a 5712 rose gold. So that was something special because I stumbled upon it in a pawn shop. And it's actually Tiffany signed. But above all, it looks great on my wrist. So it's very difficult to tell, right? And I also have a 50 millimeter Breitling Emergency. That is a 60 millimeter lug to lug, and that is very difficult to wear, even for me. But it's fun. But I will say that I do not dismiss watches just because of the case size itself.
So you mentioned that you have a 37mm Patek, and then all the way to a 50mm watch.
Yes.
So it's a really huge difference, right? So I think in terms of watch collecting, you are quite versatile. And also, just for our audience, just now Ben mentioned that it was Tiffany signed, so it actually means that the Patek Philippe watch itself actually has a double branding on top of it, right? So it means that in the past they do produce watches where they have so-called double branding, whereby on the Patek Philippe watch you actually see another brand, which is Tiffany, which I think that is quite rare, right? That's the reason why you found it in only the pawn shop.
Yeah. And it was these are the memories that we remember forever, because it's very unlikely you will be able to do that now.
Yeah, it's like once you chance upon it, and if you don't get
Yeah,
it,
correct,
most probably
correct.
you won't see it
Yes.
again, right?
And that's exactly what I did. At that
Yeah.
point in time, I couldn't really afford the watch there and then.
Uh-huh.
But being a pawn shop, thankfully, they allowed me to pay over a period of time.
Oh,
So you just pay a deposit, then they hold it for you. So every month you make sure that you come and pay and top up
I
until you
see. Yeah.
reach the amounts they are asking for.
So that must be one of your prize
Yeah,
possession
yeah,
inside
correct.
your collection.
Yes,
maybe.
and I wear it quite regularly, in fact,
Oh,
because
nice.
basically how it looks on the wrist,
I
and and it really suits my my working life, my profession. Easy to wear, very handsome watch, very classic Calatrava.
Yeah, I would believe so because it's 37 right? So it's very classic size
Yes.
for Calatrava. So a little bit of sensitive question. So I hope you don't mind. So basically, do you guys have any kind of like disagreement before in like terms of this hobby or anything? Because I always hear from collectors, right? Yeah. No, I can't let my wife know that I bought a new watch again, things like
That's
that.
because they don't collect together.
Yeah, that's the
That's
thing,
the
right?
difference.
So I'm just curious, do you guys actually, throughout this watch collecting journey, have any disagreement before or in terms of purchasing watches?
Actually, it's quite funny for me. I think it's my smaller purchases that often frustrate her the most. Not come out of nowhere, Kickstarter lah,
Yeah.
random new brands
You just
Yeah.
come through the mail.
yeah, $300
What
or
is this?
$1,000.
And it doesn't measure up to a lot of his
Yeah.
other watches.
Well, those are the watches that's termed under category for the heck of it.
Yeah.
Then for me, but I always disclose the big purchases to her. I always let her know because
Yeah.
I think that's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
And yeah, so in fact, the first time that I disclosed to her, I remember it was a Piaget Polo limited edition, a green color one.
Oh,
I
nice.
think, yeah.
Green.
The peacock.
That was my
Yeah.
first big purchase from a brand new big purchase from Piaget itself. I just remember stumbling upon it in Marina Bay Sands, Piaget boutique. And wow, when I got it, I was so nervous.
Yeah,
And I went
Came in
back
very sheepish.
sneakily,
Yeah.
middle of the night, carry home. But I knew I had to share,
Yeah.
cannot hide. So I just showed her. Oh, then her first reaction was very good. Oh, beautiful, very nice watch.
Oh, so it must be really.
Hey, at least half of it,
Tonight don't have to sit
Then
so far,
next
right?
question, next question is how much? Then that told her the retail price. Oh, that's a lot of money, but it's a very handsome watch. So at least that helped to rescue it.
Yeah.
Then after that, I think it set the tone. Because especially it's for me, I'm going to wear it regularly. And she's definitely going to notice it, how to hide, right?
Yeah. Especially the box is quite big, right?
Yeah,
For
yeah.
Piaget, yeah.
So I just,
You can always hide the box.
everything you want to hide, you can hide, I
Yeah.
guess. But for me, I knew that wasn't the way to go. Kind of like, I wasn't like a watch collector or whatever, but just share lor.
Yeah.
Happy because I really loved the watch. It was a lot of money for me then, but I also wanted to share the happiness, share the joy.
Which is nice, right? Because in a hobby, right, if we always want to share a new watch with someone,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Especially the closest person, right? But a lot of times, I think many collectors, they share their feedback is that, oh, I cannot let my wife know, I bought another new watch. So it kind of like, dampen down the mood for getting a new watch.
Yep.
But for you guys, you're able to share with each other. Actually, it's actually quite a very loving gesture and stuff like that.
I think it's more that I might hide my jewelry from him, rather than he hide his watches. But later I realized, oh, his watch price is higher. Okay, that's not so bad. And I just feel so bad about it.
So ladies, that's an excuse that you can find, right? When you want to get more jewelry. Yeah, but so back to the question where you order randomly, let's say, not really randomly, but I mean in a way like from Kickstarter and things like that, right? And then that kind of impulse buying, how do you feel? What makes you want to buy something from a platform like Kickstarter? Because for everyone's knowledge, Kickstarter is a crowdfunding platform. So it's whereby maybe a watch designer or a new brand, they have a new design, but they do not have enough funds to produce the watch. So they will go to this platform called Kickstarter, and then they will ask for funding. So basically when you back it, right, it's uncertainty, right? You may or may not receive the watch. So what makes you feel like it's okay to support this platform? Because we actually hear a lot of negativity on Kickstarter, especially in the recent years.
I actually asked him that question.
Yeah.
And I felt he justified it really well. Basically, he's a huge supporter of people who like are trying to be entrepreneur because he himself is an entrepreneur. So I guess in that spirit, he's saying let's support what we don't know will come out, but there could be something great. And nothing great ever comes out from not trying. So I think the spirit behind it, I'm like, okay, I rest my case since it's out of a good motivation for me.
I think she hit the nail right on the head. Stems from that, of course, it must appeal to me as well. Sometimes I'll think, buy already, will wear, man. I will wear maybe, will wear lah, but don't know how many times. Right?
Correct.
But I think it really stems from the point that this is worth supporting. That's why the story behind it, statistics, and explanation, and why did they come up with this watch, right? And that's why I'm also a huge fan of Spring Sprung. Look forward to it every year since the first year, because precisely the same reason. Going there, see all sorts of watches, right? From dials, made from coffee bean, cigar leaf,
Okay, so you got to pause now. Why Cass to explain what Spring Sprung is?
Yes, right. Let him have the.
So basically,
glory.
Spring Sprung is one of the watch events that we held yearly in Singapore. So it's founded by yours truly and two more partners, Sugi and Wan Yu. So we actually organize this watch event yearly for new brand owners or aspiring brand owners who wanted to showcase their brand and product. So it's actually, like what Ben said, it's a very interesting event whereby some people are very new. And of course, we have so-called some older brands who has been there for many years since the first season. So this year will be our 5th edition.
And it's grown so much over the years.
Yeah, so we have grown really from a very small event from 30 brands to last year about 59 brands. And this year we are looking at more brands that is coming in. Yeah, and of course you can, a little bit of advertising, you can look out for it in November. We'll have the fair in November. Yeah. So back to the Kickstarter topic. So I believe when you back it, just some advice maybe for the audience, right? Of course, you still need to do your due diligence on the brand owner and the history of the brand, because to be honest, the reason why Kickstarter has a bad reputation is because there are a lot of black sheeps, right? So there are really a lot of scammers in today's world, and they really take the money and run away. So just a little bit of advice for everyone. If you really want to back the Kickstarter project, it's encouraged to do so, but also do your due diligence to verify the authenticity of the brand and the brand owner's story. Whether it's true or not. Or maybe you can ask some watch collectors like Ben, who is frequent Kickstarter supporter, for advice. I think it's a very good one. So it's kind of like we wanted to clear the myth because there were also a lot of questions about Kickstarter because of the recent issues. So there's really two sides of it. So back to the thing. So from my personal experience, right? So there are very few really couples that I know who are really into watch collecting, right? Let's say if you were to choose a watch, right? Do you generally discuss together, say, before you really go and purchase, or you still, maybe sometimes you will still have your own ideas, like what kind of watch you really like? And then, of course, I know you will share with Peishan on it, right? But I just want to know, do you actually discuss for a watch purchase sometimes?
I think it's very organic because like he likes so many. He's got a very varied taste. As long as it's a justified, like good workmanship, good craftsmanship, very interesting aesthetic, he always appreciates. That's the bottom line, right? So when you appreciate a lot, I think it helps when you have someone to bounce off and say, like he just gets like he doesn't intentionally do so, but I just get involved and say, oh, what are you looking at? Like what's new? And I'm learning, and from that, when he tells me that, I say, okay, is this a bit the same as your other watch? So I become like a bit of a filter. Like I will know all his watches, and then I basically will say, hey, this is very similar, like same movement, same complication. Maybe you should, or same color palette. Maybe it can change so that you have more variation.
That was something actually I was trying to hint. Whether do you actually sometimes like advise or tell him that, oh, maybe you have a watch that is very similar to this, you should choose another one, things like that.
Because if not, what do you choose when you wear the same outfit or something? You will always be debating.
I understand for us watch collectors, sometimes we are very focused minded, right? When we buy something, we don't really realize that we are actually buying the same same thing in different brands or just slightly different design, but it looks similar or the same. So actually sometimes it's good to have someone beside us to tell, hey, do you know that it actually looks very similar to the other watch that you have? So I think this is something that is very valuable.
Yes.
Unfortunately not for me because I can't share with my wife. She doesn't look at watches and things like that. So it's something that I feel that is very nice that you can share.
Who knows, maybe it can be a good icebreaker. Like sometimes you can ask, oh dear, what do you think of this?
So most probably she'll say no. She'll say save the money for something else. But jokes aside, I think it's really nice to have someone to discuss and talk to.
For me, it's important that first of all, watch must appeal to me. So I have my own standards, ideals, I guess. So even sometimes she recommends me certain watches, I can not even close. But so there will always be certain watches that I love, certain types of watches that I love. And especially if you see in real life, so nowadays photos and videos can be so deceiving, right? But sometimes you see in real life that it really grabs your attention. Then you're drawn to it. It's like almost like falling in love with it. You cannot explain why. Your Olympic brain is thinking, this is wonderful. But you ask me to explain, I don't know why, right? One of those things. But that's a fun of a hobby of collecting, whether it's watches or jewelry, or whatever you may collect. It's very personal to us, and it should be, rather than being based on trends, what other people likes or wants, or what other people tell you what you should like. For me, I'm fiercely independent in a way, which is that's why the vast majority of my collection is independent.
I tend to remind him that he is a bit different, because even for Asian, he's considered a bit more big size and all that, and his wrist is fairly on the big side. So, like I said, you can't squeeze into the path that everybody is on, because your wrist is very different. So you're naturally really different. So you have to collect differently at what fits you and what really works with your style. He's also most of the time more corporate. Like most Singaporean men I know prefer a more casual approach. So like if you're not a t-shirt and jeans guy, you can't wear things that are always t-shirt and jeans, right? You just can't pull it off even if you wanted to. So I thought you just gotta collect based on your own personal style. And in terms of mutual collecting, I think one thing is just to respect one another. You can be as forward as saying, I really can't stand it, or he was like, that's just nonsense, it's a lot of fluff. And we can respect each other for that. And also be very open-minded, because in his collecting, like there are lots of things I still don't know. So in that, it helps when he tells me why something is worth collecting. And when we keep open-minded and respect each other, I think the journey of collecting is very adventurous. It's amazing, and it opens your mind to a lot of things, just like art and everything. So you don't predict, you actually just enjoy it. So that's the beauty.
So over the last 5 to 10 years, right, do you see a change in taste in terms of buying watches?
Oh yeah, I think I've become more bold and assertive in design choices of watches.
And colours.
In colours. I don't know, is it like a midlife thing or what?
I think so.
But
slow influence on it.
Colours and being bold, but also really depends. For example, I used to collect a very serious looking watches, now it's more fun, but still technically very impressive. But also a reminder that just to really take life one day at a time, enjoy life, and not be too serious all the time. Because my default mode is very serious. But sometimes we are, I guess, guys, or especially when we're working, we have to be serious. But also, if you're always in the serious mode, then it's very difficult for us to really let loose and enjoy the present.
So colors, how about Peishan? Do you see any changes over the years since the start until now?
I mean, I'll remind him he has the same colors. I mean, guys always love their blues, right? And their titanium colors. Like, we've been nodding profusely at me. Or the blacks, right? So they are always the safe choices. I said, look, life is too short to live too safe. And unfortunately, because I came from the color club world, remember color club, you have like 10 different colors, right? To match every outfit. So I'm saying like your wardrobe, his wardrobe also start to morph towards brighter colors. So I'm like, then your watches have to go with that as well. So you see very colorful straps as well. So I'm glad to say like his when I look at the collection, I feel more happy with it. I'm like, at least there's a color for every outfit. So that's
I can tell from the watch also.
Yeah.
It's a very fun watch from Hotlands, right?
Yes, right.
So very interesting. Yeah, I think over the years, I think everyone changed. Right. I think this is just inevitable. I think
so. Yeah.
As we grow older, our tastes change, right? Like previously, I spoke to some other guests also. We tend to like gold watches more as we grow older. And when we are young, we're like, what is this? Very old-fashioned. Yeah. So I think this is part and parcel. But it's just that everyone changes differently, right? Like for you, in terms of colors, your biggest change you see is colors, which is quite interesting because for me, I also feel that as I grow older, I also tend to be more adventurous in terms of color. So my wife will always comment that you think you're still young, right? But
you are.
To me, I feel that like what Peishan has mentioned, right? We only live once, lah. Yeah. If we don't try, we never know how it will look like, right? So yeah, in terms of like sneakers, also the same. I started buying a lot of colorful stuff, things. Yeah. So it's quite interesting. We are quite similar in terms of changing from monotone to colors. Yeah. So just now you mentioned you're a big indie fan, right? So what do you see in terms of the market now, like the indies versus the mainstream? Because I believe there was a huge up and down, right, during COVID for the indies, right? So based on your observation, what do you feel about indie brands today versus like mainstream brands?
I think indie brands, I guess when it comes to the experience, it's most important like how they treat the customer. That's why if you look at indie brands that have stood the test of time and trends, like MB&F.
Yeah.
So I can tell you, whether you like the design or not, you have to admire how they treat their clients. It's legendary.
Yeah.
And I think that's the key to any business, especially like in retail or high-end retail, like in independent watches. And of course, you may hear the opposite sides from other brands. Either they've died off or they've just left a bad taste in people's mouth from how they were treated either in their boutiques or even online or email or whatever. So I would say the challenges sometimes are the same. And with the growing number of independents now, I would say that the market will evolve from purely from aesthetic or design point of view to really how they engage with the clients, just like any other retail experience. So that is where there could be even similarities with mainstream, right? Brands, really after 10 or 20 Watches and Wonders, right? What else do you really want to see? And it is really the experience and the memories you create, whether is it through a factory visit, whether is it through fan events, the watchmakers coming down, really engaging with us. And that's the same, whether is it like Restaurant Constantin, the recent events in 2025, really enjoyed talking to the watchmakers, to visiting and engaging with small independent brands where there's one watchmaker and one assistant, that's it. You feel treasured, you feel valued, you feel seen by them, and that is a big push for us to be loyal. So I believe that over time that will be one of the key criteria in designing the success of both the mainstream and independent brands.
I see. Yeah. So that's very good insight. Yeah, from someone who actually, because I know you for a few years, quite some time, right? And I really seen that you have really gotten much into independent as compared to other collectors. You really have very little mainstream kind of watches, right? So I think we have some very nice watches here. So I think I cannot hold the excitement anymore. Let's go into the watches. Before this, I think we spoke about having. I know it's a difficult choice. You have a lot of watches, so like choosing 3 out of the many watches that you have, it must hold a very special meaning, I believe, about the watch. So maybe you want to walk us through the 3 watches that you have chosen as your favorites among your collection.
Sure. Maybe I'll start off with this Bovet. Which is interestingly, I don't know why, but we have always came back to Bovet. We visited their manufacturer last year, treated very well. For this particular piece is something that really resonates with me because I always love space. I love stars. I love the fact that
Astronomy.
Earth was made, but there are so many millions and millions of stars and planets out there that we're not even aware of. And I would say that this with aesthetic design, I love classical designs. Sometimes maybe we think this is a bit maximalist, but it works on my wrist. And it has everything that I would like, in complication. My single favorite complication will be the tourbillon. So this is a flying tourbillon. And if you notice the design, there's actually motif of the sun on it. So basically how this works, this is actually a tellurium, which basically you're able to tell the moon phase, or where the moon is at any particular time around the world. And this is basically the sun, and this is the Earth's position with regards to the sun over here. And it also has a perpetual calendar. And it's actually very comfortable to wear. I can wear it the whole day, and so it checks all the boxes for me. It has astronomy inspired design. It has the complications. It has the comfort. And this is one of my favorite watches that I try to wear as much as possible.
This is actually quite interesting because there's a lot of details in it, right? Like the sun, the position of moon, and against the Earth, and also even if you don't say, we won't even know there's a perpetual calendar until we look closely.
So
and the dates, you may be wondering. So we have the dates and the year behind. So it is a retrograde date over here, and you can see the day, the month, and the dates. And so basically, this particular disc will revert back to 1 at the end of the month, automatically.
Okay, I see a bracelet watch among the entire collection.
Yes.
Quite interesting that you choose a bracelet watch for one of your favorites.
So I've always been a fan of the streamliner design. The problem was that I didn't know which particular model or variant to choose. So when this piece was offered to me by Sincere, SHH Horologery, actually this was really a out of the budget purchase, because when they offered this to me, I was actually spent already. But when I saw this, I couldn't resist. And this is also reflective of the moods that perhaps we go through. Not every time we are sunshine and roses. Sometimes we're more melancholic, and we just want to be more reflective. And the dial is amazing. And the interesting thing about this is that they actually made ang pao red packets in this color variant. So it actually changes with the lights, how the light falls on it. But this is also interesting because this is actually a perpetual calendar, which means that you can switch the dates, increase the dates, decrease them, up and down, and without fear of breaking it. And so you see over here, this is obviously the date, the power reserve. So actually, over here you can actually set the month based on because we have 12 hour markings on a typical watch, and we have 12 months in a year. So that is actually how they tell which month it is.
So it's a very clever way to show the month, right?
Correct.
With the short hands over there.
And it's very clean.
Yes, and this is probably the cleanest and most simple perpetual calendar that Moser makes, or maybe any other watch manufacturer makes in the market today. So it has a very beautiful Egenhall design, manual wind, 7-day power reserve. Again, checks all the boxes for me: the complication, the design, and the comforts. some say it's a vintage or retro inspired design, like a
The
lobster
lobster bracelet.
bracelet. Yeah. This is their take on the so-called salmon dao.
Yeah.
If, for people.
Smoked salmon.
Yeah, smoked salmon. Yeah, thanks.
So this is most probably, I think, the cleanest watch that
Yes.
I've seen that you
Right.
have. Right.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
So and this would be most probably one of the
Most
most complicated watch that I've
This
seen.
is
that you
probably
have.
it.
Yeah.
So this is from one of my favorite indie brands, Christian Van der Clough. This was the brand that got me deep into indies.
Yeah.
In fact, I stumbled upon it in SHH in MBS. That's how I met my SA, Yena, there as well, sales assistant. And she was very kind. In fact, when I first stumbled, not this model, but it was a model for the moon draw,
Okay.
where they have a 3D moon. And I was like, oh, what an interesting design. You know. And interestingly, it was my wife that dragged me into the boutique. Because at that point in time, I was actually kind of jaded from how a lot of the ADs and even the mono brand boutiques were behaving during the COVID time.
Yeah.
And just after COVID, where there's a big boom. And I was just very sian. So then I went in, it actually rejuvenated my love for watches because, what an interesting design. And the price was very accessible and it was also astronomy related.
Yeah, that time it was, he produced the most accurate moon phase.
Yeah, in the
But
world.
most people wouldn't know because he's not Swiss, he's Dutch.
Right.
Yes, he's
Yeah,
Dutch.
so that's unusual.
Yeah. So Pim Koslik was actually before he was actually part of the team that brought over Christian Van der Clough. He was actually a watchmaker by training as well as having a very storied history from Frederick Constant, where he had a hand in designing many of the revolutionary movements there. And so when he came and he brought over the brand, he really rejuvenated it. So again, when I saw this was way out of my budget. It's crazy. I mean,
It's like a trend. Everything
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
like,
I
and,
caught
the trend.
and
So-
overspending your
Yeah.
budget.
correct. So what's so special about this watch, you may ask? Right. First of all, it is the first watch in the world to have all 8 planets rotating at their own individual speeds at concurrently. So if I'm not wrong, please correct me. It has the number of teeth in the gears in this watch is 3,388. So because of this, each planet requires its own, obviously, movements
Its own
and the,
orbit,
yeah,
like
and
the
the
speed
gears
that
and the
you
ratios
put
that
it.
require.
Yeah.
So that's the first amazing part. But everything else that came with it was the seller, was the one that
Icing
kicked me
on
over the cliff. But I landed well. So this is a sincere SHH edition of 3 pieces.
Oh, okay. Only 3 in the world.
Yeah, 3 in the world. The dial is amazing. So this dial is reminiscent of a famous picture taken by the Hubble telescope of the galaxy of the Milky Way. And what's interesting about this and shows the graciousness of the company is that Christian Van der Clough actually hinted it himself. And they were actually preparing to use this dial for their 50th anniversary.
Ah, I see.
But they were gracious enough to let Sincere have it instead.
Snag it.
Yeah.
Literally.
For their own, I believe, 75th or 70th anniversary. So all in all, this was really got me hooked and brought me over the cliff because of everything it has to offer. That I dare say is of good value when compared to many other independents. Yeah.
I can understand why, given that I think if we were to sit down and talk about this watch, you can talk about it for hours,
non-stop.
right? Because I can tell from the looks in your eyes how much you really like and appreciate this watch. Yeah.
And I don't baby it, I wear it as often as I can as well, at least once or twice a week. And because I believe that's the way they can enjoy, especially the watches that mean a lot to you. Wear it, and that is also part of, in a way, honoring the watchmaker and everyone behind it.
Wow, 3 very interesting watches. Peishan, I think you also bring 3 very interesting pieces, and
Okay.
maybe we can tell us a little bit more why you choose these three pieces?
I'll make it really short. Basically, for Christian Vanderclau, he's always been a fan. So this is, I can't remember. So he's got a huge collection of their watches, probably more than 5, I think, for sure. Yeah, so I was saying, okay, then I need to have one that is the ladies one. So this is their early iteration of it. It's mechanical, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, and it's got my little bling, which I like, but it's subtle. It's aventurine dial. And actually, Christian Vanderclau does this design for VCA as well. But of course, VCA with the brand shop and everything costs a lot more. Yeah, so it's a gorgeous watch to wear, like for formal and slightly, it's a classical kind of design. Not too loud, not too heavy on the diamonds. And then next we have my all-time favorite is the Millenary. When I was doing my research for watches, I totally fell in love with this because this is to me a very credible ladies watch. Like they give credit to women who actually enjoy mechanical watches and not make it a quartz, and yet it's so slim. And it's it's open work, which I love because you can see what goes on inside. And at the back, I call it the sexy back. And it's in gold, and the bling is so subtle, it's really nice. So, and the mother of pearl dial. So this he got for me on auction, and I really, really love it. It's super wearable, and it's beautiful. It's just beautiful. Yeah. So this was like kind of my dream watch. And then we went to Switzerland, and it's a 10th anniversary trip. And we chanced upon this in one of the dealership boutiques. And then I was like, oh, this is gorgeous. I mean, who doesn't like this green, right? Yeah, and our Asian skin wears green so well. That's why jade and Chinese, And the beautiful thing, actually, he wanted to buy me another of their watches, which is the Sweetheart, Audrey Sweetheart, which is sugar dial, made from sugar crystals. But I was saying, no, I think I'd rather you get this. I might not be able to wear it, but I'd rather you get this. But actually, I can wear it, and it sits beautifully. Wait a second. Like, it's not too big actually. Yeah, it sits really well, and it's not. It's loud, but it's very nice. And the good thing is, he wears the other side much more. So this watch can actually be restrapped to allow for it to be changed properly, so that you can actually wear both sides. So he likes. Yes,
that's right.
Yes, that's right. And it also doubles up as for some people, a table clock. So like if you open this, that's how you de-strap it. And then you can place it on your table as a table clock as well. So it's such a versatile watch, and it's a bit of an answered conundrum I had about watches. Is like, the back is so beautiful, right? Why can't we wear it both ways? And this is the one watch that does that. And it's great that we both get to enjoy it, and marks our 10th anniversary together.
Thank you so much for sharing all these interesting watches. I think we will have a lot more to talk about this in future also. So before we close this session off, maybe do you have any advice that you want to give our audience?
I think this has been used almost to the point of being a cliche, but really buying what speaks to you, what draws you in, what really puts a smile on your face. I'm not an Arab prince, so I earn my own money, and every dollar counts as well. But at the end of the day, I've been reflecting the last few years is that actually I've never regretted any watch that I bought. Talk about resale value or whatever. I've only really regretted those that I've let go.
I see.
Yeah. And yeah, even to the point of even missing them. Strange as it may seem, because this is something that's so deeply personal. So don't let anybody or any company or define what you should or should not buy. Never do that, because that is, never forget who's the one paying for it. Literally, right? So ignore hype as much as you can. Make a reasoned decision. Take a deep breath if you must. But when you buy it, wear it and enjoy it. And that you will derive the maximum pleasure from it that sometimes perhaps money really cannot replace.
Yeah, I totally agree. Just don't let people tell you what you should or should not buy. Nobody can tell you what you like. So just be you and enjoy. And don't let the external forces of telling you, oh, you can make a quick buck out of this one. I mean, it defeats the purpose of enjoying your, your watch and your art.
Yeah, that's very nice sharing. But remember, don't spend over budget.
Definitely.
Yeah. So basically, yeah, I think that's a very interesting sharing today. And thank you very much once again, Ben
Welcome.
and Peishan, for
Thanks
coming
for
to the
Thanks for
show.
having us.
Yeah, so if you want to know more, maybe after this show, you can approach Ben and Peishan, and then we can talk more about the other watches that we have. So we'll catch you again on the next episode of Tick and Talk. Bye.
Bye bye.